Alright guys, how you doing, and welcome to another video on the FPL Updates channel. And today we're going to review Game Week 3 and have a closer look at some of the ongoings for the third Premier League weekend. And as you can see, it was a great weekend for AFC Bournemouth, getting off the mark with their first ever win in the top tier. And Callum Wilson, 17 points, the highest amount of points of any player this game week. If you add him, my hat is off to you. He scored a hat-trick at West Ham. And to be fair, I'm surprised there's not more Bournemouth players in this team. I think Gradle got a couple of assists, maybe just missing out. I think he maybe got a 10 as well. So it was a decent performance by those boys. So looking at the team in general, we've got lots of interesting picks and lots of already familiar faces from the season. One man who is no stranger to fantasy football this season so far is Riyad Mahrez, the current Premier League top scorer. He got 15 in Game Week 1, 10 last week and another 10 this week. He's got 35 points in the first 3 game weeks. Well done as well if you had him from the start. I've had him from the start because I've got faith in my boy. Well done Mahrez, and they actually travel to Bournemouth, who we were just talking about, next week. That could be an interesting one. Now the defensive line there is a very, very weird selection of players. Apart from maybe Scott Dan, we saw glimpses of him last season being a great player on this game. Also been linked with an England call-up, so that would be quite decent. Tim Krul in the Newcastle goal. Very surprising, bearing in mind they had to go to Manchester United away and they managed to pull off a great 0-0 draw. A great defensive show from Steve McLaren. Those defenders are looking decent, but next week at home to Arsenal, I don't know how they're going to do. Looking at the back four, you've got 2 Man City defenders in Kolarov and Sanya, the 2 full-backs. Bearing in mind they had to travel to Everton, they've done really well there, and obviously Kolarov getting a goal as well. What a guy he is. And then we've got this guy from Watford called Nyom, who I've never ever heard of, but he somehow made his way into the dream team. I don't know how, so I think that might be a one-off, but well done if you had him somewhere, just lurking about. In the midfield, you've got Chelsea's Pedro as the highest scoring midfielder this week with 13, a goal and an assist on his debut. Very good performance there. He might be one to watch for the rest of the season, an interesting pick. James Morrison for West Brom, missed a penalty, but scored a couple of goals. From 0 to hero, you probably thought, oh no, he's got -2, and then he does that. So some great points there. And Bakary Sakho with another 10 on his Crystal Palace debut, scoring a goal. Very good to see. If Balassi does leave the club, he would be an interesting pick to have instead. And finally, the familiar face of Diego Costa getting back on the score sheet with 10 points. It was Pedro who assisted his goal. Could this be the start of a revelation for Chelsea's team, just like it was last season when Costa got off the mark so quickly? Could this be the man coming back into his own? Only time will tell. Thanks for watching this video. Be sure to subscribe to the FPL Updates channel, and remember that this video is sponsored by Premier Punt.